8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. May I know who all are joining the call today?
हरे कृष्ण भगवती वसुधा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, प्रीतिदासी from Charlotte. हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhargavi Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjari Leela Devidasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all Guru Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. This is Radha Pyari Devidasi from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Radha Pyari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shyama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Welcome back, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I was missing all of you.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandas Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Varna from Atlanta, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Welcome back, Shamgari Mataji. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you, Mataji. I was missing all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Hare
you, Mataji.
Krishna, this is Priyamada Radha Priya from Canada. All.
Hare Krishna, Yamuna Radha Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna, Vardhana Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Is there anyone who would like to introduce on the call today?
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and the humble devotees. This is Revati from Atlanta, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Revati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Okay. I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 7.15.58. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to hand over the call to Mataji for the brief introduction.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji is not available. So I sent the introduction in the group. Would you like to read it? Mataji, please.
Sure, Mataji. Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Here is a brief introduction about today's speaker. This case Gaur Vilas Prabhuji. So we are very happy to have His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji on our call today. Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2004. He earned a MBBS degree from Grant Medical College. Gaur Vilas Prabhuji joined the ashram in 2010 and he was initiated as a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2012. Prabhuji preaches in various medical colleges. He also conducts programs for doctors at Bhaktivedanta Hospital and in corporate environments. He is a teacher of Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav courses. He also conducts congregational programs in Mumbai and Maharashtra. Gaur Vilas Prabhuji has done through studies of Bhagavad Gita, has done thorough studies of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Chaitamrita. We are really grateful to have Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining today's call.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for this opportunity to serve. Thank you, all the devotees. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vidamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Raghunathanvatam Samvajivam Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Sapta Kanchana Gautangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Te Devi Pranamami Devi Panchakalpatarubhdasya Kripa Sindhubhyadev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyare Shitarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Govinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to Sangha Bhagavatam class. We are discussing today from Canto 7. We are chapter 15, Instructions for Civilized Human Beings, text number 58. Abhadito Apihya yatha vastutaya smitaha durghatatvad andriyakyam tatvat artha vikalpitam. Translation. Although one may consider the reflection of the sun from a mirror to be false, it has its factual existence. Accordingly, to prove by speculative knowledge that there is no reality would be extremely difficult. Purport. The impersonalists try to prove that the varieties in the vision of the empiric philosopher are false. Varieties in the vision of the empiric philosopher are false. The impersonalist philosophy, Vivartavad, generally cites the acceptance of a rope to be a snake as an example of this fact. According to this example, the varieties within our vision are false. Just as rope seen to be a snake is false. The Vaishnavas say, however, that although the idea that the rope is a snake is false, the snake is not false. One has experience of snake in reality, and therefore he knows that although representation of rope as a snake is false or illusory, there is a snake in reality. Similarly, this world, which is full of varieties, is not false. It is a reflection of the reality in the Vaikuntha world, the spiritual world. The reflection of the sun from a mirror is nothing but light within darkness. Thus, although it is not exactly sunlight, without the sunlight, the reflection would be impossible. Similarly, the varieties of this world would be impossible unless there were a real prototype in the spiritual world. The Mayadic philosopher cannot understand this, but a real philosopher must be convinced that light is not possible at all without a background of sunlight. Thus, the jugglery of words used by Mayavadi philosopher to prove that this material world is false may amaze inexperienced children, but a man with full knowledge knows perfectly well that there cannot be any existence without Krishna. Therefore, a Vaishnava insists on the platform of somehow or other accepting Krishna. Tasmat kenapi upayena manah Krishne niveshayet. When we raise our unmixed faith to the lotus feet of Krishna, everything is revealed. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asanshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasasi Tat Shrino. Now, hear, O son of Pratha, Arjun, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Simply by raising one's staunch faith in Krishna and his instructions, one can understand reality without a doubt. Asanshayam Samagram Mam. One can understand how Krishna's material and spiritual energies are working and how he is present everywhere, although everything is not in him. This philosophy of Achintya, Bheda, Abheda, inconceivable oneness and difference, is the perfect philosophy enunciated by the Vaishnavas. Everything is an emanation from Krishna, but it is not that everything must therefore be worshipped. Speculative knowledge cannot give us reality as it is, but will continue to be nefariously imperfect. So-called scientists try to prove that there is no God and that everything is happening because of the laws of nature. But this is imperfect knowledge because nothing can work unless directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.10 by the Lord himself. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya gives a note. Durghatatvad arthatvena parameshwarena kalpitam. The background of everything is Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. This can be understood by a Mahatma who is perfect in knowledge. Hare Krishna. This is the last chapter of 7th canto, almost the last section. In this section, Narad Muni, after describing the details of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all the Varnashram systems, now from 57 to 68 verses, he is summarizing the occupational duties. In the previous verse, he described how Brahman existed in the beginning and in the end. And somebody may say, well, how can the sannyasi say that everything is Brahman when everyone perceives difference between the enjoyer and the enjoyed? People say everything is Brahman. Sarvam khal vidam brahma. Everything is Brahman. And this is the basis of Mayavad conception. These types of words can be very easily misinterpreted. And that's why our Vaishnavacharyas, they are very, very careful to give us the actual understanding of what is Mayavad and what is Vaishnava philosophy. In this verse, Narad Muni is describing, of course, there are illusions, but we can perceive illusion only if something real is there. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the snake, which is perceived as a rope, or a rope which is perceived as a snake in the darkness. So a person perceives rope to be a snake because the snake is also a reality. And that's why the rope is seen as snake. But the Mayavadi philosophers, they very, very clearly, very, very simply say, oh, this world is false. When Srila Prabhupada, he went to America and he started preaching. He started speaking about this philosophy of Mayavad. How Mayavadis are bogus, they are envious. And he was very, very strong against Mayavadis and scientists. So the initial devotees, they had just come, they had started attending some classes. They had no understanding of what is Mayavad. So they would think maybe these people, these Mayavadis, they have done something wrong to this Swamiji. That's why he's very, very angry against them. They didn't understand what is this Mayavad. Why Swamiji is so angry and so strong against Mayavad philosophy? What is this Mayavad? But this Mayavad philosophy, it is not just a philosophy. It is a desire of a living entity. We'll discuss a little bit about this Mayavad philosophy. It is a little technical part. We'll discuss some of it, not everything, because to discuss that technical part is also very difficult. So, Mayavad, as Srila Prabhupada would say, would be very against. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaviraj Goswami describes in his book, Mayavadi bhashya shunile hoye sarvanash. If you hear Mayavad philosophy, you'll be destroyed. Mayavad is not just a philosophy given by Shankaracharya. Mayavad is actually a desire of a living entity. The desire of living entity is, I want to become God. And that desire is fully manifested in this Mayavad philosophy. When somebody is told that you are God. That's why in many places, Srila Prabhupada, he tells that this is the last snare of Maya. When somebody thinks, I am God. Mayavad, it has two parts. The Mayavadis, they say there are two types of reality. There is a Vyavaharik and there is Paramarthik. Vyavaharik means the world which we see, it has varieties. It is a Vyavaharik. It is a common understanding, common existence. Vyavahar. When we see what we see in this world, it has varieties. But what is Paramarthik understanding? Paramarth means in the absolute sense, there is oneness. There is no variety in oneness in the absolute sense. That is what Mayavadis say. But most of the scriptures, they talk about the varieties of the Lord. They talk about the personal features of the Lord. So to reconcile this, you know what Mayavadis they said? These Mayavadis said that the scriptures are of two levels. There are lower level of scriptures and there are higher level of scriptures. The lower level of scriptures, they are those scriptures which describe the varieties about the Lord. They are low level. They are not so high scriptures. And the higher level of scriptures, they talk about the paramarthic reality, the oneness. So these scriptures, they describe the lower level of things, that is a variety. They are laghu vakya. They are not so great. And those who describe the oneness, they are mahavakya. Who decided? They decided. Because they were the one who were, the prominent people. Shankaracharya was the prominent. Shankaracharya decided. He divided the literatures into Vyavaharik and Paramarthik. And Vyavaharik means, again, to understand, Vyavahar means anything which deals with variety. That is Vyavaharik. They call it as lower level. It is not so great. The varieties which we see in the scriptures about the Lord's abode, Lord's devotees, they are all lower level. Absolute level, it is all one. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Brahman is the truth, everything else is false. Soham, I am that. Tattvam, you are that. Sarvam khal vidam Brahma, everything is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. These are, the statements which can be easily misinterpreted. And Shankaracharya did that. Shankaracharya, he brought out these statements from the Upanishads, Ishopanishad and all the other Upanishads, which can be easily misinterpreted. And he gave this. Why Shankaracharya did that? What was the need for Shankaracharya, who is the avatar of Lord Shiva? Why he did such a thing which is not at all according to the scriptures? It had a purpose, because when Lord Buddha came, he saw the rampant killing of the animals, and the Brahmanas, they were taking shelter of the Vedas, and they were telling, oh, Vedas, they tell that animal killing is allowed. So Lord Buddha came, okay, you reject the Vedas. So now Vedas were out of picture. Then the Vedas, they have to be brought again in the life, in the philosophy. Otherwise, anything without the Vedic understanding is useless. So then Shankaracharya came. And Shankaracharya, he started telling, actually, you are God. Where it is written? Oh, the scriptures say that you are God. So then he slowly brought Vedas again in the picture with an impersonal understanding. There was another reason why Shankaracharya, he did that. It is described in Padma Puran. Lord Shiva himself tells to Mother Parvati, Maya Sat Shastram Prachannam Bauddhamuchyate Mayeva Kalpitam Devi Kalau Brahmana Rupina. He says this Mayavad philosophy is a false philosophy. It is a impious scripture. I will teach this in Kali Yuga. Mayeva Kalpitam Devi Kalau Brahmana. In the form of a Brahmana, I will preach this philosophy. And why I do that? To cheat the atheists. Because in those times, there were some atheists. They were behaving as if they were devotees, but they were doing wrong things. To take them away from the Vaishnava literatures and philosophy, Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya and spoke this Mayavad philosophy. So therefore, Shankaracharya, he brought this Mayavad philosophy. This Mayavad philosophy, it is so very dangerous. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very strong against these Mayavadis. Sri Prabhupada uses a word in this purport, Vivartavad. We'll discuss something about this Vivartavad. This discussion comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati. Prakashananda Saraswati was the head of all the Mayavadi sannyasis in Varanasi. And they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they saw he's just a sentimental sannyasi. He's dancing and singing. He's not studying Vedanta. So somehow Mahaprabhu was invited by Brahmana and he invited all the other sannyasis also. And Mahaprabhu entered and sat in the place where they would wash their feet in a very humble position. Head of the leaders of Mayavadis, Prakashananda Saraswati, he was very touched by the humility of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was touched by the Brahman effulgence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu knew how to attract Mayavadis. Mayavadis were attracted by Brahman. He showed his Brahman effulgence. And Prakashananda Saraswati himself came and by his hand, he told Mahaprabhu that you please come and sit at the same level. And they had a big discussion. And they asked, why are you not reading Vedanta? Why are you just chanting and dancing? And Mahaprabhu said, well, the Vedanta which you are describing, it is not at all according to Vyasadev's understanding of Vedanta. Vyasa Sutre te kahe parinamavad, Vyasa Bhranta bolitar uthaila vivad. This comes in Adi Lila, 7th chapter, verse number 121 onwards. The description of Vivartavad and Parinamvad. It is going to be a little technical discussion. Let's try to understand this. Because many times we study Leela and the pastimes, they are very easy to, so-called easy. But we should also have a little understanding of what is Mayavad. One time, one devotee came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I'm not able to understand what is this Mayavad philosophy. Prabhupada said, that is wonderful. You are not able to understand. But we should have a little bit of understanding of what is Mayavad so that we can see that this person is speaking Mayavad and stay away from that place. Otherwise, it is very difficult to argue and debate and defeat hardcore Mayavadis. Greatest of Acharyas. They took so much of time. Raman Vishare was arguing with the Mayavadi sannyasi for 7 days. Sarvam Bhattacharya was a Mayavadi. Mahaprabhu spent a lot of time in transforming him. So it is not so easy to defeat hardcore Mayavadis. In this world now, nobody is a Mayavadi, hardcore. But we should know what is Mayavad, because it is a desire of a living entity to become Lord. And anything which supports that desire, one tries to do anything to follow that philosophy. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Vedanta Sutra, Vyasadeva, he has described Parinamavad. What is Parinamavad and what is Vivartavad? Parinamvad means, so first of all, we should understand Parinamvad is the actual right philosophy given by Vyasadeva. And Vivartavad is the false philosophy which is given by Shankaracharya. So Vyasadev's Parinamvad says that the Supreme Lord never gets transformed. Supreme Lord never loses his position. What gets transformed is the energies of the Lord. In the second canto of Bhagavatam, third canto of Bhagavatam, we have heard in detail how in the course of creation, from the body of Mahavishnu, everything comes. Dravya, Kala, Karmascha, Subhava, Jiva, Evacha, Vasudeva, Paro, Anna, Nachanya, Artho, Asti, Tattvataha. Everything is the manifestation from Vasudev's body. Dravya, Kala, Karma, Subhava, and Jiva. Everything is energy of the Lord which gets transformed. That is right understanding. That is Parinamvad. But you know what Shankaracharya did? He said, no, it is not right. He said Vyasdev was wrong. Shankaracharya said Vyasdev is wrong. He said Supreme Lord himself gets transformed. That is called as Vivartavad. He said, oh, we are all gods. Supreme Lord has transformed himself. We are gods. That is false. Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur and that purport says, in the Vedanta Sutra of Srila Vyasdev, it is stated that all cosmic manifestations are the transformations of energy of Lord. That should be very clear. Everything we see in this world, it is the energy of the Lord which is getting transformed. The Lord has various energies. Parasya Shakti Vividheva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya. The Lord has unlimited potencies. However, Shankaracharya says, no, it is not the energy of the Lord. It is the Lord himself who is getting transformed. That is called as Vivartavad. That is a theory of illusion. Vivartavad means theory of illusion. So he said, oh, God is impersonal and he gets transformed. The Supreme Lord, when the absolute truth, when absolute truth gets covered by the mode of goodness, he becomes avatar. Absolute truth covered by the mode of passion becomes all the living entities. Absolute truth covered by the mode of ignorance becomes dead matter. That is the philosophy of Shankaracharya. That is Vivartavad. That is false. It is not possible. The Lord never gets transformed. Lord never loses his position. He is always situated as the supreme. It is the energy of the Lord which gets transformed. Etad ishanam ishasya prakritistopi tad gunaihi na yujyate sadatmasthai yatha buddhi tadashraya. The divinity of the supreme divine is that even though Lord comes in this world, he never gets affected by the moods of the material nature. He's always transcendental. One should never think that this material manifestation is false. It is true, but it is temporary. The Vaishnava philosophy is this material world is not false, it is temporary. But the Mayavadis say, oh, this world is illusion. There is nothing but Brahman. No, it is an offense. Another example which Mayavadis they give, that when the drop of ocean merges in the ocean, the drop loses its identity. Similarly, we have come from God, and when we merge in God, we will lose our identity. We will become one with God. You know, this word oneness is so very common nowadays. I am feeling one with the universe. These words are very cool. I am feeling one with Lord, one with nature. We can never become one with the Lord. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayamata param. Krishna is very clearly described in Bhagavad Gita. O Arjun, all these kings in front of you, they were existing in the past, they are existing now, they'll continue to exist in future. So where is the question of losing our existence? Even if somebody enters Brahman, a person, living entity never loses its existence. It is like green bird entering the green tree. It appears that the green bird is lost, but the green bird never loses its existence. So Shankaracharya says, oh, actually the absolute truth is transformed. It is all word jugglery. Srila Prabhupada writes, Shankaracharya has imagined that material world and living entities are false. In fact, there is nothing but Brahman. There is no material world, there are no living entities, it's all Brahman. It is false. So he has tried to prove that everything is illusion. The varieties are illusion. But then, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes, actually, what is actual Parinamvad and actual Vivardhavad? Vastutah Parinamavad Seita Praman Dehatma Buddhiyai Vivartera Sthan. What is illusion? Shankaracharya said this world is illusion. Vivarta, he said, no, this world is not illusion. Then what is illusion? The illusion is the false conception that this is my body. The false conception that these things belong to me. That is illusion. The living entity, the soul, it is spiritual. In the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th chapter, Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, they are having a discussion, and Parikshit Maharaj asks a question. He says, how can there be a relationship between soul, which is spiritual, and the matter, material? How can they come together in a relationship? How is it possible for soul to develop relationship with matter? Because we see the body and the soul, they look very related. He said, Shukdev Goswami says, actually there is no relationship. It is all dream. It's like a dream state. Swapna drashtur ivanjasa, na ghate tartha sambandha, swapna drashtur ivanjasa. Just like in a dream, one starts thinking that, oh, I have this body, I have this kingdom, I have this wealth, I have this property. Prabhupada tells a funny story. One time there was a very poor beggar. Somebody gave him a pot of milk. It was an earthen pot full of milk. He became so happy. He went to his home, and with that pot, he kept that pot in his room. He slept. He started dreaming. In the dream, he started making a business out of that milk. With that one pot, I'll sell that milk, I'll get 2 liter, and then in this way, my business will increase, and then I will keep some cow also. Then I will get more milk, and I'll get many cows, and then I'll open a cow shed, a goshala. To maintain a goshala, I'll keep a servant, and to oversee the servant, and I'll also get married, and I will appoint my wife to oversee the goshala. And if my wife will not listen, I'll kick her. And in the dream, he kicks, and he kicks the pot, and the pot breaks, and his eyes open, and that was the end of his business. All the realities of this world which we see, they are all illusion. That means we start identifying that this is mine. That is illusion. Nothing is belonging to us. This world is not illusion. Our relation with the body, our relation with the people, that is illusion. The entire philosophy of Bhagavatam is meant to understand that we have to give up our relationship with the body and the things related with the body. Yasyatma buddhi gunape tridhatruke swadhi galatradishu bhauma ichyadhi yatirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu vigyeshu saeva gokhara. This verse very beautifully describes the various types of illusions people have in this world. Yasyatma buddhi. Some people have atma buddhi. Atma buddhi means this is my body. My body, which is made up of three 5 elements and 3 dhatus, kapha, vata, pitta, 3 dhatu ke. This is my body and I am this body. That is called as Atma Buddhi. Yasya Atma Buddhi Punape Tridhatuke. Anything happens in the body, we get disturbed. Anything happens with our mind, we get disturbed. It is so very deeply rooted conception that this is my body. The whole process of spiritual life is to make us realize that we are not this body. Yasya Atma Buddhi Punape Tridhatuke. Swadhi Kalatra Dishu. Swadhi Buddhi. Then some people have Swadhi Buddhi. These are my people. They are my relatives, my family, my wife, my children. Swadhi Buddhi. Anything happens to them, I'll get disturbed. Deha Apatya Kalatradishu Atma Sainyashu Satsuapi Tesham Pramatto Nidhanam Pashyannapi na Pashyati. People in this world, they think these are my soldiers, they are my army. My wife, my children, my family, my property, they are my armies. Deha, Apatya, Kalatradi, they are Sena, my army, but they don't realize, Are Baba, they will not only stay, they will not stay, they are impermanent. Asatsuapi, Pashyanapi na Pashyati, he's seeing everybody around him is dying, but no, they'll protect me for sure. That is called as Swadhi Buddhi. Yasyatma Buddhi Punape Tridhatuke Swadhi Kalatradishu. Kalatra Adi means wife, children, husband, Adi, they are Swadhi Buddhi. Then the third type of Buddhi is Bhauma Ijyadhi, Bhaum Buddhi. Oh, my place of birth is worshipable. Janani Janamam Bhumi Swargadapi Gariyasi. There's a Sanskrit saying, mother and the motherland, they are more worshipable than heaven. This is my land. Why? Because I have taken birth here. There is nothing great about this land. There is something great about me. Because I am taking birth here, that's why this land is great. If I take some birth somewhere else, then that land becomes great. So it is not about the land. It is about me. That is called as Bhauma Buddhi. Bhauma Ijya, worshipping the land. And then Yat Tirtha Buddhi. What is Tirtha Buddhi? I'll just go to a holy place, take bath in the river there, take darshan of the deities there and come back. He says, these people, they are lower than cows and asses in their intelligence. They don't realize. Their illusion is so very strong. And to cut off this illusion is very, very difficult. That is actual Vivartavad. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that is actual Vivarta. Vivarta is not that this world is illusion. Actual Vivarta is our false bodily conception. That is Vivartavad. He gives an example. He gives the example of touchstone. Touchstone can turn iron to gold, but yet the touchstone remains. It is not that touchstone has lost its existence. So touchstone produces many varieties of jewels, but touchstone doesn't lose its identity. Similarly, Mahaprabhu says, if ordinary material object has such power, inconceivable potency, what to speak of the Lord? Prakriti vastute yadi achintya shakti hoye, Ishwarera achintya shakti the ki vismay. What is so astonishing about the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord? Ishwarera achintya shakti. Lord has inconceivable potencies. Lord doesn't have to get transformed. His energies are sufficient. Lord has inconceivable, achintya shakti. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport about achintya bhed abhed. So Mayavadis, they interpret that, oh, Vyasdev didn't know what he's writing. Oh, Krishna didn't know what he's speaking. As if they are greater than Mayavad, they are greater than Krishna and Vyasdev. So therefore, we should not waste time in things of the world. The desire to become God, it is the innate desire of every one of us. That's why we have come here in this world. And nothing can cut this illusion. There is only one thing which can cut this illusion of Mayavad, that I can become God, I can become controller. That is realization of Krishna consciousness. Bhagavatam can cut this knot of illusion. Nothing else is destroyed by time. Everything else is destroyed by time, but ego. False ego never gets destroyed. The desire to lord it over material nature, that desire never gets destroyed. Gajendra, he tells this in his prayers to Lord Krishna. Jijivishena hamihamuya kim mantar bahishchavitaye bhayonya ichhami kalena nayasya viplava tasyatma loka varnayasya moksham. He says, after offering beautiful prayers, ultimately he realizes, what is the use of this body? What is the use of the material existence only? I don't want to live, my Lord. Jivishenaham, I don't want to live, oh my Lord, because I am covered internally also and externally also. Internally, I have a thick covering of illusion, and externally, I have an animal body. Ichhami kalena nayasya viplava. In due course of time, kalena nayasya viplava. The desire to become God, desire to enjoy, it is never destroyed. Only when it comes to this understanding that I am supposed to serve Krishna, love God, that is possible only when one comes in association of devotees. And by some inconceivable good fortune, we have got this chance to at least understand that I am supposed to serve God. To understand that service to God, service to Krishna is the happiest thing in this world. The joy of serving is such that even Lord wants to become servant. Why somebody wants to become God? Because they want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. And people think, oh, becoming servant means exploitation, abuse, no freedom, no independence. So I don't want to become servant. Yes, that's there in the material world. But spiritual world is a reflection. Material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Whatever is lowest in this material world is highest there. In spiritual world, everybody wants to become servant. Because Krishna Das Abhimane Yananda Sindhu Koti Brahma Sukha Nahi Tara Eka Bindu. Kaviraj Goswami describes, even greatest of the personalities want to become servant. Advaita Acharya, who is Mahavishnu, he wants to become servant of Krishna. Even the avatars want to become servant of Krishna. Why? Krishna Das Abhiman, the joy and the pride of becoming servant of Krishna, that is so great. Krishna Das Abhiman, Ananda Sindhu, it is an ocean of happiness. In front of that ocean, Brahma Sukh, the joy of Brahmananda, it is like it is not even a drop of that ocean. That's why Lord himself comes to taste that joy of servant, joy of being a servant, joy of service. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just few days back, we had wonderful Gaur Purnima festival. So this desire of becoming master, becoming God, that is a deadly desire. It can take one to the lowest of the existences. And Mahaprabhu's mercy is such that From this lowest of the existence, we have a chance to become the millionaire. We have chance to become most fortunate. From most unfortunate to most fortunate. That is possible only by the mercy of the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, there is no way we can come out of this conception that I can become God. It's only by the mercy of the devotees of the Lord we have understood this. Trying to understand. Maya mugda jiver nahi swata Krishna gyan. Jivera kripai koila Krishna Veda Puran. To show mercy to all the living entities, Krishna has written this Ved and Puran. He has given this process of Krishna consciousness so that we can understand this. Otherwise, it is not so easy to understand. The desire to become God, it is really thick. It is really, really powerful desire. One time, one devotee was telling that because I have read so much of Mayavad philosophy earlier, now it is so very difficult to focus on Vaishnava principles. For most of us, we had no conception of what is Mayavad. So it is easy. It is easy to focus on Krishna. But you ask somebody who has practiced Mayavad and now they have become devotees, it is so very difficult for them to practice Krishna consciousness. Because this philosophy of Mayavad, it is not just a philosophy, it is a desire. That's why Mahaprabhu would say, Mayavadi bhashya shunile hoye sarvanash. The desire to become servant will be destroyed. A devotee, for him, this Mayavad, it is like hell. Prabodhananda Saraswati, he says, Kaivalyam narakayate. Kaivalya, the desire, the thought of merging in Brahman, it is hell. Mukti is hell. Rupa Goswami mentions a beautiful conversation which happens between a devotee and Mukti Devi. So this devotee, he is meditating on the Lord's pastimes because he is a pure devotee. Whoever serves the Lord and he is pure devotee of the Lord, Mukti becomes his or her servant. Mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevyate swan dharmartha kam gataya samaya pratiksha. Are Mukti Devi herself comes with folded hands. She is ready to serve this devotee. So this devotee, he is meditating on the Lord and the Mukti Devi comes. And he is sitting, this devotee is sitting with his eyes closed. He realizes somebody has come. He opens his eyes and he sees a beautiful lady standing in front of him. He asks, Katvam, Sanskrit. Katvam means who are you? She says, Mukti Rupagatasmi Bhavati. I am Mukti Devi. I have come to serve you. He says, Kasmada Kasmadiha. How come suddenly you have come? I didn't call you. So Mukti Devi says, Are Swam Krishna Deva Smaranena Bhavato Dasipadam Prapita. Are because you are remembering Krishna, I have become your Dasi. So he says, Dure Tishta Managanagasi, O abominable one, stay away. So Mukti Devi becomes shocked. Katham Kurya Dhanariyamai, what wrong I have done? I have come to serve you and you are giving me bad words. What is this? Katham Kurya Dhanariyamai, what wrong I have done? Tell me. He says, Tvat Gandhan Nijanama Chandan Rasale Pasya Lopo Bhavet. Just by your smell, my desire to serve Krishna will go away. So that is the type of aversion a devotee has for liberation. Not at all interested in mukti. And Mayavad is not even in question. Mukti means Brahman realization. Mayavad is not even question for a devotee. It is worst. Mayavad means I am God. Brahman means actual. There is a difference between Brahmavad and Mayavad. Brahmavad means There are three existences: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. The absolute truth is perceived in three forms. Vadanti tattatvavida tattvam yadjnanavadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The Lord is Lord is understood in three forms: Brahman, the light which comes from the body of the Lord, that is Brahman. Paramatma means the Lord who is there in everyone's heart, and the personality of Godhead, that is Bhagavan. There are some people who are interested and attracted to Brahman, but they don't deny the existence of Bhagavan. They are called as Brahmavadis. Can anyone tell me any example of a Brahmavadi which we hear in our scriptures in Bhagavatam? The famous Brahmavadis who later became devotees of the Lord. Anyone has any?
Kanak Kumaras.
Kumars.
Yes. Maras, yes. And who else?
Sukhdev Goswami. Sukhdev ji.
Yes, Shukdev. So they are the examples of Brahmavadis. We hear the story of Kumaras going to Vaikuntha, and as they smell the aroma of the tulasi, which is offered at the lotus feet of Krishna, Tasya Ravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Kinjal Kamishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Swavivarena Chakar Tesham Sanshobham Aksharajasham Apichitta Tanvo. Sanshobham, as soon as the fragrance of tulasi entered their nostrils, they became agitated with feelings of devotion, although Akshara Jusham, they are absorbed in Brahman. And Shukdev Goswami similarly. Parinishitopi Naurgunya Uttama Shloka Leelaya Grihita Cheta Rajarshe Akhyanam Tat Adhitavan. Shukdev Goswami himself tells, I was absorbed in Brahman. So that is called as Brahmavadi. And Mayavadi, so Brahmavadis, they accept the form of the Lord, but they are more interested in Brahman. Mayavadis, they reject the form of the Lord and they want to become God. So Mayavadis, their destination is hellish. So even this Brahmavadi, Brahman conception is inconceivable. A devotee never ever thinks about this Brahman realization. And what to speak of Brahman realization? A devotee is interested in any type of realization, personal realization, only if there is seva. If seva is not there, what will I do after getting liberated, oh my Lord? A devotee is interested in seva. Seva is our treasure. It is not about getting liberated from the miseries of this world. It is about getting a chance to serve the Lord. Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatvam, Apyuta, Diyamanam, Nagrananti, Vinamat, Sevanam, Jana. Kapaladev tells, my devotees are never interested in any liberation if there is no seva. But the seva is our dhan. Chance to hear about the glories of the Lord is our treasure. Our acharyas, they have really struggled and worked hard to give us the chance to hear Krishna Katha, to give us the chance to hear Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he struggled for many years to get one bona fide copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kaviraj Goswami, at the fag end of his life, he is writing this Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was more than 90 years old. Ami vriddha jara tu likhite ka paikar mane kichu smarane na ho. Na dekhiye nayane na suniye shravane tabu likhiye bada vismay. He's saying, I can't see anything, I can't hear anything, my hands are trembling, still I'm writing, I don't know how I'm writing. And then, in the beginning of the Madhya Lila, he writes the entire Antya Lila in synopsis. Why he's doing that? Ei Antya Lila sar sutra madhya vistar kari kichu karilu vivaran iha madhya mari jabe varni tena pari tabe ei lila bhakta ganadhan. He says, "Hey Antalila Sar, I am writing the essence of Antalila in the beginning of the Madhyalila. You know why? Iha Madhya Marijave, because I am already old. If I die, who will tell this? Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Because this is a treasure of devotee. A Leela Bhakta Ganadhan. Because when Raghunath Das Goswami, when Mahaprabhu left, Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to commit suicide. He was thinking, I'll go to Govardhan and jump and commit suicide. Mahaprabhu said, please don't do this. You go and be with Rup Sanatan Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he went to Vrindavan and he was there with Rup Sanatan Goswami. And Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami told that you have personally witnessed all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Please speak about them. So Raghunath Das Goswami was giving Chaitanya Charitamrita class every day on the banks of Radhakund. And all the Brajvasis were listening to it. And in that assembly, Kaviraj Goswami was there. So Kaviraj Goswami says that Teho Thoila Raghunath Hera Kanthe. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he was this. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, he described all these pastimes to Raghunath Das Goswami. Taha gichu e shinilu, taha iha vistarilu, bhakta gana dilu e bhete. Whatever I heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, I am writing a little bit of it. And this is a gift I am giving to devotee community. So from one extreme of becoming God, to other extreme of becoming a greatest devotee of Krishna, chance to develop relationship with Krishna. That is our fortune. That is the only fortune we have received by coming to this process of bhakti. Ekantalabham vachasonupumsam sushlokamaulle gunavadamaho Shrutesha vidvad virupakritayam katha sudhayam upasamprayogam. Ekantalabh, this is the only benefit of the speech, of the words. What is that? Sushlokamaulle gunavadamaho. The only benefit one can achieve is by speaking Krishna Katha, by speaking Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Greatest of the devotees, they have described in their writing, Shrutesha, Vidvadbhi means the great learned souls have described these pastimes. So we should try to hear them and speak about them and get benefited. The more we hear, the more we speak, the more we will come close to Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions anybody has?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class. Hare Krishna, Sukhakar Prabhu. Please go ahead and ask your question. Nice to see you, Prabhuji. It's been a long time.
Thank you, Gaur Vilas Prabhu, for your class. It was so absorbing, so nice. I don't know how the time passed so fast. So, Prabhu, you were telling that the illusion is that we are the body and the relations are ours and this is mine, mine, mine. That is the main reason why we are getting stuck up. But I want to know that though we are in the Krishna consciousness, but still that identity is still there. I'm a South Indian, I'm from Chennai, I'm a Brahmana, higher family, chartered accountant. So how to get rid of that? That is not going out. One should become selfless, no? One should become Atma level. So I don't know what is the way to get there.
In Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Arjuna asks a question. Which is better? The path of impersonal realization or the path of devotion. Evam satata yuktaye bhakta swam paryupasate ye chapya aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Baldev Vidyabhushan, he gives a different understanding of this verse. He says, you know what Arjuna is asking? Which is better? In the first 6 chapters, you described about Atma Gyan, and in the next 6 chapters, you described about Ishwar Gyan. Which I should cultivate first? Which is better? So Krishna says, Maya Veshya Manoyema Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Paryopetas Teme Yukta Tamamata. Of course, my personal knowledge is better. Baldev Vidyabhushan says, we should cultivate Ishwara Gyan more, and Atma Gyan will follow automatically. The more we absorb ourselves in Krishna conscious understanding, Krishna conscious philosophy, hearing and chanting the names of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, slowly this bodily conception will become weakened. Just like when somebody eats, 3 things happen automatically. Tushti, Pukshti, Shut Apayo Anubhasam. With every morsel of food, one feels nourished, one feels satisfied, and the hunger goes down. Similarly, by the process of devotional service, by practicing bhakti, 3 things happen simultaneously. Bhakti pareshanubhavo virakti anyatra chaisha trika ek kalaha. Bhakti, Para-Isha Anubhav, and Virakti. One becomes close to Krishna. One becomes more strong in the practice of devotion, and one develops detachment from the things of the world. These 3 things happen simultaneously when we start practicing bhakti. So currently, we may be thinking, well, I'm very much attached. I'm so much body conscious. We should not be so much overwhelmed by these things. We should be bothered about things which we can do. Many times we are overwhelmed about things which we can't do anything about. And we don't think about the things which we can do something about. What all things which we can do? Increasing our quality of chanting, increasing our Bhagavatam studies and hearing, our seva. These things we can focus on. These things we can think about and do something about. When I will be purified? When will these conceptions go away? That is Krishna's job. That is not our job. We should be thinking about whether I am doing my chanting properly. What is the quality of my chanting? What is the quality of my reading, my hearing? What is my consciousness when I am doing my seva? That is what is in our hand. And gradually, Jarayati Ashu Yakosham Nigirnam Analoyatha. Kapaladev says, just like fire slowly burns the firewood. It will not happen overnight. Will not become self-realized overnight. It is a gradual process. Just like bhakti is compared to digestive fire. Digestive fire has 3 qualities. Digestive fire burns the waste material and absorbs the nutrients from the food. When we practice devotional service, all the good qualities, all the good things, they manifest, and our bad things, they are destroyed. Digestive fire takes time to digest. Similarly, the process of devotional service takes time to work. The digestive fire, if somebody has good digestive fire, he does not have to do anything else to digest food. No gymnastics after eating food. Digestive fire will do the needful. Similarly, by the practice of devotional service, everything else is accomplished. Nothing else is to be done. Yat karmabhir yat tapasa jnana vairagyayachayat yogena dana dharmena shreyobhir itarairapi sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto labhate anjasa swarga apavarga mad dhama kathanchid yadi vanchati. My devotee, this is 11th canto, Krishna is telling to Uddhav. He says, my devotee, he achieves everything. Whatever results one achieves by doing karma, by tapasya, by jnana, by vairagya, by yoga, by dana, by anything else, itarairapi. Sarvam, all these things, mad bhakti yogena, by my bhakti, mad bhakto labhate anjasa, my devotee gets easily. What do you want? You want heaven? You will get it. You want liberation? You will get it. If you want to come to me, you will get that also. So that is a faith a devotee has. What is in my hand, I'll do that, and remaining rest I'll leave to Krishna. When he wants to purify me, that is his call. We can't do anything about it. We cannot demand, Krishna, I want to be purified now. We can just depend on Krishna. We have to show our endeavors and then leave to Krishna. If Krishna wants to keep us in this world for many lifetimes, okay, no problem. If Krishna wants it, I'll stay here. And if Krishna wants to take me back, I'll go back and serve him there. Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan maramhatam katho karotuva yatha tathava vidhatu lampato matprananathastu sevanapara. Mahaprabhu has given these 6 Ashtakam prayers. They should be our guiding principles. We should not become result oriented so much. We should become process oriented. Problem is when we become goal oriented. We are focusing so much on the goal that we forget to focus on the process. Am I doing my chanting properly? Am I doing my seva in right consciousness? So that counts. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhu, you told one more thing, Prabhu, Bhauma Ijjati, that we are sometimes proud of. So is it wrong that I am from India, Bharat Bhumi, and we are in Brajadham is in India, like that? Is it wrong to think like that?
Brajadham is different. Brajadham is the word of the Lord.
So we are in that same, the Bharat Bhumi.
We are concerned about India because Brajadham is there in India. Not because I have taken birth in India.
No.
Because the holy are in India, that's why we consider ourselves fortunate. Not because I have taken birth here, that's why this land is great. India is great because the pastimes of the Lord have happened there. It is not because I have taken birth here, that's why my land is great.
No.
That's the right understanding.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sukakar Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If there are any other questions or realizations, please go ahead and share now. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. I don't see any other hand raises. We can end the call here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Praise Gaur Vilas
Thank you,
Prabhuji.